is a chilly Saturday night in Tennessee, but we are expecting fireworks in a critical American Conference football showdown on ESPN. Tonight, from the historic Liberty Bowl, 6-3 Memphis hosts 7-2 South Florida. Memphis out of the American Conference West, South Florida out of the American Conference East. And welcome to Memphis. I'm Eamon McEnany. Happy to be joined once again by the former Pitt quarterback John Kinjemi. And no, Tom 3 does not get to take the field for the Tigers, but we are looking at an offense here that's putting up record numbers for South Florida.
Well, South Florida is on pace to set school records in both scoring and total offense. They lead the AAC in scoring at 43 points a game and second in rushing offense, 30 points in 13 straight games. That's the longest active streak in the FBS. And they're led by their quarterback, Quinton Flowers. He knows how to get outside. And this team knows how to get in the end zone. 412 rushing yards against the Naval Academy. That was a school record. 32 rushing touchdowns, also a school record. So, Eamon, this is a team that is very offensive. They like to score points in bunches, and they know how to do it both through the air, but especially on the ground.
Willie Taggart, the head coach, also the offensive coordinator, telling us this year that it's fun calling plays when a quarterback has complete control of the offense with plenty of playmakers. His counterpart tonight, also a very young, bright offensive mind, Mike Norville, but he has a stud on defense who will be very active tonight.
A matchup nightmare. Jannard Avery at the middle linebacker position. He can line up on the inside as a traditional middle linebacker. He can rush from that position and cause havoc for opposing quarterbacks and offensive tackles, but he also knows how to get his hands on the quarterback and the football. He's the only non-defensive back with 2 or more pick sixes this season. So not only can Memphis score on offense, but Avery and company on defense knows how to get it in the end zone.
As John mentioned, the 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown. In the words of the offensive coordinator, Darren Hiller, he leads a group that's like ants on candy. They fly around the ball. So USF won the toss. They elected to receive, so we'll get a look at their explosive offense right off the bat. Coach Norvell telling us he thinks the return game for both teams will be huge. Dearness Johnson and Rodney Adams back. Most teams try to kick the ball away from Adams. And that's exactly what happens here as Elliott drills it back out of the end zone for a touchback. So mission accomplished on the kickoff for the Tigers. We started the broadcast talking about Quinton Flowers, and John, he's on the cusp of putting up milestones in 2 categories.
Well, he's trying to be the second player this season behind Louisville's quarterback Lamar Jackson to have 2,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. And he's taken his game to another level in this offense. He knows what he wants to do in the pass offense. He knows how to run the football, and it'll be critical for him to do that tonight.
So now Marlon Mack comes in motion, comes in the backfield and gets a carry. Across the 30, he's hit hard at the 32. It was Chris Morley bringing him down. And they call it 9-5 when Flowers hands off to Mack. But Flowers now a veteran in this offense, and they're going quickly. They empty the backfield. They have a bunch set to the right with Mack. They swing it out on the now route to Adams. He gets across the 30, gets the first down, gets out to the 40. So Rodney Adams with a tough run. Brought down by Chris Morley. First down, Bulls.
You will see plenty of formations, lots of motion, and lots of number 9, Quinton Flowers, in this offense.
Mack now in the backfield, bunch set to the left. They give it to Mack. Nothing doing on this play, maybe a yard. Tigers ready for him, led by Donald Pennington and Jannard Avery, who we discussed in the open, junior out of Grenada, Mississippi.
Pennington's one of those defensive tackles, that nose tackle, difficult to move in the run game for Memphis.
Bulls right back up at the line of scrimmage. Now motion. Blown up. Adams gets dropped for a massive loss. Ernest Suttles with the penetration in the TFL.
All you need is a crease as one of those down defensive linemen. And Suttles is able to split the block right off of the block of Amichia and gets into the backfield. Big tackle for loss on second down.
Loss of 9, his 3rd TFL on the season. So now certainly off schedule for the Bulls here on 3rd and 18.
Always have to account for Quinton Flowers scrambling and extending plays with his legs.
And here it is, design quarterback draw, and he has a huge hole. He gets the first down into Memphis territory. So the spy, if there was one, was not awake on that play.
Big formation to the field. Flowers goes away from that formation, and Memphis loses contain. You cannot do that on an athlete with the talent of Quinton Flowers at quarterback.
Certainly both defensive coordinators this week telling us the key is to set the edges and play well on the perimeter. Now Memphis showing blitz on the now route again. Back to Adams. He breaks one tackle. Still on his feet at the 40, the 30. He could go, the 20, the 10. Touchdown Bulls. 49 yards. The fastest player on the team took it to the house.
South Florida knows how to score and score quickly, but you have to tackle on the perimeter if you're going to keep the Bulls out of the end zone. Memphis doesn't do it. Rodney Adams splits 2 tackles, goes the distance along the Bulls sideline to open up the scoring tonight.
Just like that, 6 plays, 75 yards. 54th touchdown this season. Now, interesting development here. The backup kicker, Brandon Bear, is on for South Florida. Emilio Nadelman, hurt, unable to go tonight. And Bear, a graduate transfer from Jacksonville, makes it 7-0. So no issues in the kicking game there. But boy, Rodney Adams, fast and tough.
The South Florida Bulls can score in bunches, and when you have athletes on the perimeter that know how to break tackles in the open field, you're not going to catch the Bulls tonight.
Welcome back to Memphis. Earlier today, a C-17 from the 164th Airlift Wing, Tennessee Air National Guard here in Memphis with a fly over the Liberty Bowl. Good crowd on hand out early. Gorgeous day here in Memphis. The fans came out to see this one. There we see Brandon Bear, who was okay on the extra point, kicking off now. The kick return game will play a factor here. Tony Pollard, 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown this season, and this will be returnable. Except he falls down, ball still loose. And Henderson, it appears, fell on it to keep it Memphis ball.
Eamon, we were down on the field pre-game. There's a lot of wind, and you have to negotiate that in the kicking game, and that wind is blowing from left to right as you watch the game. So that ball kicking into the wind for the Bulls, and luckily enough for Memphis, they were able to get on it, but Tony Pollard did not play the football cleanly, and Henderson falls on the loose football.
And you see Henderson take the shot there as he was on the ground. He limped off. He appears all right, but he is a key factor in this diverse offense that Riley Ferguson runs. He is a quarterback playing with confidence now.
He is, and he has to get the running game going to control the tempo of the game to keep Quinton Flowers in that South Florida Bull offense on the sidelines.
All right, no issues with Henderson. He's right out there to get the start, and he gets the ball right up the middle. A strong run for the first down by the freshman out of Mississippi. Khalid McGee with the tackle. Now Memphis likes to go quickly as well. Stacked receivers to both sides. They stick with the run game, and Henderson has a hole again, and he just lowers the shoulder and carries the tackler, Augie Sanchez, for a yard or two. Another first down.
Exactly what Memphis wanted to do to open the football game. Establish the line of scrimmage, get the running game going. That's only going to pay off later for quarterback Riley Ferguson.
Henderson stays out there. They give it to him. Why not? This time he slips. Maybe a pickup of 2. This is a player who was the Mississippi Player of the Year last year in high school, and we're talking to the offensive coaches. He's really improved and coming along.
Those north-south runs to open up the game were impressive, and if he stayed in the hole on that particular play, he might be still running to the goal line.
2nd and 8. South Florida showing pressure. Now it backs off. 8 on the play clock. Back to Henderson up the middle. And it's going to be 3rd and medium. He's brought down by Deidrin Sanat, number 10 up front. Sanchez, the leader of this defense, in on the play as well.
We saw South Florida convert on a 3rd and very long to extend their drive. This will be Memphis. Offensively, their first attempt on 3rd down. They have to find a way to stay on the field.
It was a quarterback keeper for Flowers on 3rd and 18. Here comes pressure from the Bulls. Quick release, low throw. Let's see where they mark it. They say incomplete, doesn't matter anyway. Looking for Tony Pollard. So not what Memphis was looking for offensively here after the Bulls put up 7 on their opening drive.
And that's one that Tony Pollard would love to have back. That would extend the drive, keep this momentum offensively going for Memphis.
Spencer Smith on to punt. Dearness Johnson back to return. Good high kick. Johnson with the fair catch signal. And he makes the grab safely at the 15. So we didn't see a whole lot of Mack on that opening drive, but he is certainly their go-to guy in the running game. And John, you mentioned it. You know, he's been around the block a few times for this program.
Yeah, it seems like Marlon Mack's been there a long time, and he has. And he's school record with over 3,200 yards in rushing, a school record 28 touchdowns in 5 100-yard games in 2016, 18 100-yard games, which is also a school record. So this is a guy that knows what he's doing with his hands on the football.
On the ground, Dearness Johnson. Brought down. Gang tackled there at the 6. Jannard Avery in on the play. Now it's 2nd and 7. Dearness Johnson in the backfield with Flowers. They run the sweep to Adams, and he could go again. The 30, the 50. One man's got an angle. He's not going to get him. 92 yards. The jet sweep. Jets all the way to the end zone.
We talked about the points that South Florida can score and how quickly they can score. That's the Bulls' 55th touchdown this season, another record set by this offense. Rodney Adams went 49 on the first touchdown, 92 there in a blur, and ran away from everyone in blue.
So Bear on for the extra point. Flag on the kick. Game notes, and you read the scouting report, and it says Rodney Adams, fastest player on the team. They're not lying. I believe it.
I'm a believer. When you play South Florida defensively, you have to be able, as you said earlier in the game, to set the edge on defense and gain leverage. Memphis defensively, twice now, they've been burned. They haven't been able to get upfield and make Adams go inside. When he gets outside and he's in the open, you are not going to catch Rodney Adams. This is a guy that has world-class speed, and he just gets the head down, the shoulders pumping, and the legs going. And 92 yards later, it's 14-0.
This is a Memphis defense that gave up a ton of points against Navy and Tulsa. The coaches were very proud with how they responded last week against SMU, a team that can put up points as well and likes to go quickly as well. But they're on their heels right off the start now.
And they're at a whole 14-0, and they haven't done anything offensively that gives you a threat that they're going to come back very quickly.
Tony Pollard, after another drop, takes it all the way out to the 26. So Clemson undefeated no more. Now here Ferguson rolls it, throws it out to Henderson. Brought down by Nate Godwin. Henderson's been very busy today in the offense. True freshman. Stays out there. Swinging out on the now route to Miller. And he gets the first down. Good blocking on the perimeter.
Daniel Hurd out in front of there, blocking on the perimeter, as you said, allowing Anthony Miller to move the chains for Memphis offensively.
Ferguson has plenty of weapons to choose from and playmakers, no doubt about that. Dorcius in the backfield, Miller in motion. They give it to Dorcius, and he has the first down and then some. Into the open field. One tackle away from going to the house, but Nate Godwin brings him down. So Dorcius with a burst.
Damon, you mentioned it. Memphis has athletes as well. They have them on the perimeter, and they have it in the backfield. And Dorcius, he almost picked him up and put him down into the end zone, but that's a nice spark for this set of downs.
Down to the Bull 32. Pickup of 22 yards. Now Ferguson looking for it all. Overshoots his man, Phil Mayhew.
Eamon, what made that pitch and catch tough was Tony Pollard and Mayhew on the outside running the exact same routes on go routes, but they were right next to each other. You have to have separation. You have to have Pollard down the hash that would allow the wide receiver some room and a little bit clearer picture for Riley Ferguson to throw the football to.
Now to Dorcius. Right at the 30 after a short gain. Daniel Awolake in on that play along with Augie Sanchez. Ferguson started his collegiate career at Tennessee. We mentioned his odyssey, was out of college football, was building fences, and then got back into it at Coffeyville Community College.
I think he likes this job a little bit better.
A little bit better. Threw a football at a stop sign to turn it around to slow down traffic, the legend has it. At the fence building job, but now he just wants to throw it to complete at least 8 yards for a first down. Here comes pressure up the middle. Lobs it up, man is open. Too far. Had Darrell Henderson on the wheel route, and maybe he needed to lunge a little bit more for that play.
When you have a running back in space that's not used to going down the field and catching wheel routes, that's a tough one, but you've got to be able to come up with that play. You've got 3 steps behind a South Florida defender, and that ball looked like he just lost it or misjudged it in the end zone.
So now they're going to settle for the field goal attempt. 47 yards for Jake Elliott, the all-conference kicker. This is certainly in his range. But John, we were down here earlier with the wind playing games.
I think he may have misjudged it.
But he got it in. So he played the hook, and he puts the Tigers on the board. Ernest Johnson and Rodney Adams, I know one thing, they do not want to see the ball in the hands of 87 and White. That's for sure. It's up to Elliott to deliver another touchback.
He's got the wind at his back. This shouldn't be a problem for him kicking this football out of the end zone.
And on cue, Adams will make the catch. Faked everyone out, but does obviously set for the knee. They run it to Mack, and he gets the first down. So on the first drive, they had 3rd and 18, and they got it on a quarterback keeper. Here on 3rd and 11, they get it with a running play.
That's just too easy. You get a team in 3rd and long situations, and twice the Bulls have been able to stay on the field, keep momentum offensively, and do it on the ground. This is a quarterback run set right here.
Bunch set to the right, Ernest Johnson, and a stack set to the left. And now Flowers out of the pocket, stays on his feet to make maybe a yard or 2, and it looked like they had a shot at him behind the line of scrimmage. But obviously it's a cliche, but he is a huge threat when the play breaks down.
You can't give up if you're a defender on the edge. You can't give up if you have a job to do to set that edge and keep your quarterback inside of your leverage. Number 9 is going to be able to find a way to escape most times.
Pressure from up the middle. The slant is dropped. Incomplete pass. Good coverage. Looking for Adams. Make that Elkanah Dillon. But Austin Hall right there with him. So again, 3rd and long. Opportunity for the Tigers to force a kick.
You would think so, but this is where South Florida's felt most comfort. They really don't veer away from their game plan. They've run it twice on 3rd and 8, on 3rd and 15. Now you have 3rd and 9. Let's see what quarterback Quinton Flowers does here to try to convert this 3rd down opportunity.
Now Mack in motion. They give it to Mack. Change of direction. And this time they set the edge and contain Marlon Mack. Jonathan Cook brings him down.
That's a great job defensively by Memphis, having a player get outside leverage on either a runner or a pass receiver, turn it back in to where the help's coming from. And that was finally executed properly by Memphis and their defense.
Looked like it was Austin Hall out there to set the perimeter that forced Mack to stop on a dime and change his direction. So now Miller back to receive the punt. Good high short kick. Miller comes up, lets it go, and they down it inside the 10. So Hernandez does his job. And now Ferguson and the Tiger offense comes back out on the field. Henderson in the backfield from the 9. They give it to Henderson to the left. Make that Patrick Taylor, number 6, the freshman out of Humble, Texas. And he finishes that run strong, introducing himself to Tajay Fullwood. There's some fresh legs out there for the Tigers.
Always love a running back that finishes runs. Lower the shoulder and be strong at the end of those runs.
They go right back to him, close for a first down. Looks like he's a hair shy, so that'll bring up 3rd and short. 3rd and 1.
You've got to be able to win at the line of scrimmage here on 3rd and short.
You go the quarterback sneak, and the pile pushes forward for the first down. So Ferguson at 6'4", 210. Able to get the first down on the sneak. And do not have to run a play here at the end of the quarter if they want to take it to the other end. I believe 10 seconds on the game clock. Coach Norvell's trying to get their attention to say, let's put on the brakes and talk about this one.
That's the end of the first quarter.
So I believe we said there would be some explosive plays tonight, and South Florida has delivered. Should I say Rodney Adams has delivered. 49 yards in the passing game, breaking a couple tackles. Then in the running game, the longest play in South Florida history, 92 yards to the house. Bulls lead by 11. Back here at Memphis for the start of the second quarter, Eamon McEnany along with John Kinjemi. 2 big plays in the offense for South Florida by Rodney Adams. They lead 14-3. Now Ferguson steps up, avoids the sack, slides. Let's see where they mark him down. Just shy of the first down at the 29. So Ferguson showing off his ability to run.
Sometimes as a quarterback, stepping up through the pocket is your best friend. You clear the traffic and you're able to be an athlete and get 9 yards on first down.
Now they go to the pistol with Taylor behind him. Quick throw over the middle, complete to Tony Pollard. Out to the 41.
Little run pass option for Memphis as they're getting a little bit more rhythm in their offense on this set of downs.
12-yard gain. Now Miller in motion. Ball marked at the 37. Ferguson off the play fake. Looking for Miller for 6. And it's dropped. That was there. Hoggins had the coverage, but that ball was there.
You know, when we talked to head coach Mike Norvell, he told us this week, we need to hit the explosive plays down the field. Well, there was 3 opportunities. This one probably the best chance because you have your best receiver going up, climbing the ladder, trying to make the catch. And Anthony Miller just can't come down with it, and it's one he should have had.
Drops for the whole team was certainly an issue in the loss to Tulsa. I thought they had taken care of that last week against SMU. Well, instead, it's 2nd and 10. 5 on the play clock. Ferguson feeling the heat, out of the pocket, and throws it away. So now it'll be 3rd and long.
Really good job by Riley escaping the pressure and getting the football across the line of scrimmage. But good pressure, good heat in the pocket again by South Florida. This is a defense that can run, they can get upfield, they can make it aggravating for a quarterback to feel comfortable in the pocket.
And they have been forcing things in the passing game. They've been getting them. 3rd and 10 now. Memphis 2 for 5 in 3rd down conversions tonight. 5 on the play clock. They get it off. Here comes pressure again, looking to set up the screen, and it's behind Pollard. Make that Patrick Taylor. So now a decision for Coach Norvell. He's got a great kicker who has a 56-yarder on his resume.
That could have been a big play if Ferguson was able to convert that screen. I don't know if he could locate the running back there on 3rd down.
John, 4th and 10's low percentage. You got one of the best kickers in the country. What do you think of this decision?
I think they know they need to score more than probably 30 points tonight.
Has green turf ahead of him and will get the first down and more inside the 10 and hit hard. Khalid McGee lowered the boom, but not after a 29-yard run by Riley Ferguson.
Head coach Mike Norvell deciding he wanted to keep his offense out there, and it turns out to be a great decision after Riley Ferguson escapes the heat in the kitchen, gets outside, and makes a big play to continue this drive. Now Memphis inside the 10-yard line.
The throw on the slant behind the receiver. No signal yet.
He may have come up with that.
No signal. They're saying he caught it at the 1. So it's Anthony Miller making the grab, but no touchdown. Well, again, this could be reviewed up top, but Memphis wants to go quickly. They get the sneak. Touchdown, Memphis. So somewhat fitting that it's Ferguson getting the touchdown after he came up with the big play on 4th and 10.
Huge run on 4th down. He eludes pressure in the pocket, then finds Miller inside the 1, and then they quarterback sneak. And probably one of the greatest feeling in the world as a quarterback when your linemen are on the ground, they're trying to pull you over the goal line to get you across to break that plane. And Riley Ferguson comes up excited about getting into the end zone.
So they go 91 yards in 13 plays. We mentioned the pickup on 4th and 10. Credit Miller with the tough catch down at the goal line as well. So now Elliott on for the extra point. And it's good. And as expected, points aplenty here in the Liberty Bowl.
Being aggressive on 4th down for head coach Mike Norvell and their offense turns into points for Memphis offensively. Riley Ferguson does a great job of moving the chains on 4th down. Then he finds his playmaker, Anthony Miller, on a quick slant, an acrobatic catch, and a quarterback sneak later. It's Memphis, their deficit, only 4 points now heading into the second quarter.
And certainly an important weekend here for our country to salute those who defend our rights.
Our brightest, our bravest, and our best.
Tonight, Rodney Adams has been the brightest for South Florida, hoping to get a chance that the wind can hold this up, and it does. So returnable from the 4. And they are ready for it. And that fires up the Tiger sidelines and the Tiger fans, but that was about the one time they've gotten a good hit on 87 and white. Now they throw it out to Mack to the right. And again, John, that last play, it was a missed tackle. The Tigers not wrapping up or taken down.
Yeah, that's something that's going to have to improve as this game progresses if Memphis is going to have an opportunity to challenge and stop the Bulls offensively.
4 receivers to the wide side. Flowers has all day, checks it down to Mack. In the open field, Hall can only usher him out of bounds after he picks up the first down.
Eamon, the pressure of the tempo that South Florida is playing with offensively on certain plays has Memphis scrambling defensively.
Dearness Johnson in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 45. Here's Johnson. Patiently waiting for a hole that never developed, but he plowed ahead for a couple of yards. Jannard Avery with the tackle. John, you mentioned it right from the get-go. Their ability to play so many multiple formations and do it quickly, the pressure that must put on the defense.
They spread you out, and with athletes that run like they do, it doesn't take a whole lot of space to create big plays.
That pass off the mark. Looking for Ryshean Bronson. So now 3rd and 6.
Cold night tonight. It's tough to catch and throw for Flowers. He's done a nice job so far, but on that one, I don't ever think he had the handle on the football to make an accurate throw downfield.
So mass substitutions here. Adams comes on. Twins to the right. Now Adams in motion. They give it to him again, and he is dropped at the 49. A big hit in space. Who said they were having a hard time tackling? Chris Morley brings him down.
I think I did.
I did.
Chris Morley did an excellent job scanning the offensive backfield and tracking Rodney Adams. He had his eyes on him the entire way. Comes up, and now South Florida going for it on 4th down.
No time to celebrate because they get the first down and more. He is gone. 48 yards. He's over 1,000 yards. More importantly, he just put 6 on the board for the Bulls.
That will quiet the crowd in a hurry. That's all about tempo, about a mindset of what they're trying to do offensively. And head coach Willie Taggart has so much trust in Quinton Flowers and his decision-making in this offense.
Hindsight 2020, but you wonder if Mike Norvell wishes he could have taken a timeout, because clearly I don't think they were ready for South Florida to go for it on 4th down so quickly. And the extra point is good, but what an answer by the Bulls. So Flowers now has 1,013 rushing yards. And he just tacked on 48 to that total. 4th and short, 4th and gone. The Bulls back in control. Here's Henderson, and again with the wind, he'll just have to watch it go into the end zone for a touchback. Now Dorland Dorsey is in the backfield. And he gets it to the right, breaks a tackle, gets out near the 1st down. They mark him just shy of the 1st down. Augie Sanchez and Deidrin Sanat bring him down.
Terrific balance on that 1st down run by Dorius going off the right side. It's important for Memphis to keep pace with South Florida. They have to continue to keep the pressure on offensively.
That's pretty much the way things have been going in the American this year. Now Ferguson gets it out to Miller. Nice move. And he gets out near midfield. Augie Sanchez hustling back to make the tackle. And now the Tigers looking to go quickly. We approach 9 minutes left in the half. Here comes pressure. They see it. They throw right against it. This is the freshman Taylor. Actually make it Dorcius, my bad. But a good play call by the staff, because that went right against what South Florida ran.
Starting to get 8, 9, 11 yards on consecutive positive offensive plays for Memphis now.
Now Miller comes over to the left, twins to the right on 2nd and short. Henderson back in the backfield. And here's Miller for the 1st down. Brought down by Ronnie Hoggins. Those two are going to get to know each other very well by the end of this ball game.
Aiming a lot of run-pass option plays now for quarterback Riley Ferguson, and he's making really good decisions and when to hand it off and when to pull it and throw it.
Pump. Now he's got to improvise, and he throws it away. So that slows down the drive for now momentarily.
First stalemate of this series offensively for Memphis. They've been getting chunk yardage plays in the running game, some RPOs on the outside, run pass options that he's been on target with, and now they're moving inside of South Florida territory.
Now complete to the tight end. That's Daniel Montiel for a 1st down. So just outside the red zone now with 8 minutes left to play in the half. They go to the running game. There's a huge hole. Right up the middle is Henderson. Touchdown Tigers. 21 yards. I hope they brought enough fireworks to the Liberty Bowl.
That's right. I don't believe the true freshman was touched going off the left side. An enormous hole. A great job by the offensive line, especially on that left side. Blowing an enormous crater in that South Florida defense, and Henderson goes in untouched for the 6 points.
His 4th touchdown of the season. In the rushing game. Elliott on for the extra point. Buckle up, John. We're going to be here for a while.
I think so, Eamon. I think you're going to have to be in the 40s to win this football game. I hope we brought snacks because we're going to be here a while. 21 yards later, Henderson finds himself in the end zone, and we've got ourselves a football game.
It was your job to get snacks. 7:45 left to play here in the second quarter in a critical American Athletic Conference showdown.
We've got ourselves a track meet here, Eamon.
Yes, as advertised. Elliott into the wind. Tries to kick it away from Adams, but Adams moves over to gets it from the 1. He gets taken down with a flag at the 18. So again, a explosive offense with playmakers all over the field. Has a minute, 2 seconds, and 2 timeouts to work with. You talk about a turn of momentum. If South Florida could get points here after missing that field goal, that would be a tough momentum changer for the home team. Mack cannot get outside. Chris Morley this time coming up from the safety position to trip him up. And he stayed in bounds, so the clock continues to move.
South Florida, they can get a big play in a hurry. So far tonight, Adams goes 49 yards. Adams goes 92 yards, and Flowers 48, so they can get him in chunks.
Flowers with time has Mack open at the 25. Now does Willie Taggart take a timeout with 30 seconds left? Not yet. I'm very surprised by this.
Yeah, I would have thought if Willie might have taken one around the 30-second mark, they're going to let this go down and be the last play of the half, potentially.
About 19 seconds came off, and then you throw a dangerous pass. A great break on the ball by the DB. That looked like Cook, who's been all over the place. So now 4th and 4 with 5 seconds left.
Yeah, the locker room's down there.
I would think now I would just snap it and have Quinton Flowers run around for 5 seconds.
Absolutely.
Memphis will receive the second half kickoff. Let's see what Willie Taggart has up his sleeve here.
Run to the wide side of the field, potentially.
They toss it to Mack. He gets the first down, but that's all academic. So he takes his 2 timeouts with him into the locker room, but more importantly, he takes a 4-point lead. So both offenses as advertised. South Florida with 3 explosive plays, and Willie Taggart heads into the locker room with a 21-17 lead on Memphis. Let's take you now to the ESPNU halftime report with Brendan Fitzgerald and Charles Arbuckle. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. We thank you for making this Memphis-South Florida game part of your Veterans Day weekend. Eamon McEnany along with John Kangemi. And John, even a quarterback like you has to feel some compassion for the defensive coordinators during halftime who had to go back to the drawing board.
They probably wish they could spend about 25 to 30 minutes on a whiteboard and try to draw up a defense to slow down both offenses. Both teams combined for 629 yards of offense and 38 points in that first half.
So Memphis was able to regroup and make this one closer as South Florida jumped out quickly. But now they will get the ball to start the third quarter. This is Pollard from the 2. It's out across the 30. Flag on the play back at the 20. Now let's take a look at tonight's game track brought to you by Taco Bell.
A lot of offense in that first half, and it starts with Quinton Flowers. He's the quarterback for South Florida, 10 of 15, 102 yards, but more importantly, 110 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Riley Ferguson's numbers would have been better if it weren't for 3 or 4 drops in the first half, but efficient numbers for him. And then Rodney Adams, what he's done as a pass-catching wide receiver and a running wide receiver have been spectacular. He's been a dual threat for the Bulls offensively.
If you're just joining us in the first half, Quinton Flowers going over the 2,000-yard passing mark and a 1,000-yard rushing mark. First South Florida player to do that. And now here's Dorcius to the left. Gets hit hard at the 15. Nigel Harris with the tackle. Gain of 5. Now, during the week, the Memphis coaches told us they might try to do some stuff to slow it down. Not necessarily slow down their tempo, but maybe do some window dressing at the line of scrimmage to keep the South Florida offense off the field. Let's see if they do that on this possession. That's complete to Miller for the first down. He gets out of bounds, so that'll stop the clock. Dietrich Nichols takes him out of bounds.
The run-pass option plays for Memphis have worked to the short side of the field. They've done an excellent job of pulling the football. Riley Ferguson has at the quarterback spot.
Patrick Taylor, the freshman out of Humble, Texas, in the backfield with Ferguson now. Twins to both sides. Ferguson keeps it himself, throws into double coverage, and he holds on to it. Phil Mayhew got stuck by Tajay Fullwood, but he hangs on. That was a tough throw.
That's a strong catch by a wide receiver who came into tonight's game not 100%, had a bone bruise, was kind of like a game-time decision, comes in and makes a tough, strong catch in front of his own bench.
16-yard pickup, low throw, catch made by the tight end. Montiel, his second catch of the night. Dietrich Nichols with the tackle. So now Riley Ferguson's in that rhythm that they were looking for this week.
And usually it's the running game that gets him into this rhythm, but it's been the short passing game that he's found open receivers and really starting to ignite this offense to start the third quarter.
Twins to the right, now Miller in motion on the short side. Ferguson keeps it himself. No, he gives it up to Taylor. Taylor still on his feet at the 40, the 30. Knocked out of bounds at the 22. Khalid McGee with the tackle, but Taylor weaves his way all the way down to the 21.
Great play fake by Riley Ferguson and nice patience by Patrick Taylor. All he did was follow big number 54, Drew Kaiser, to the short side of the field. And you see 54 out in front of you, just hug his backside and get going.
Now Ferguson throws on the run. Miller gets away from one man. Gets the first down inside the 10. First and goal, Memphis.
I think at halftime, head coach Mike Norvell said, you know what, about slowing the game down, we're just going to put the pedal down and see if we can get into the 40s before South Florida does.
Ferguson now 11 for 14. Started 5 for 13, 11 of 14 since. Now on the rollout, into the end zone. Touchdown, Memphis. Daniel Hurd gives the Tigers their first lead of the night.
Daniel Hurd was the third choice in that progression, and Riley Ferguson did an excellent job of showing off his arm strength. 7 plays, 90 yards, 2:43 off the clock. Ferguson to Hurd for 6.
Second touchdown of the season for the 5th-year senior. Now Elliott on for the extra point. For an 87 straight extra points for Elliott now.
You always want to make a statement coming out of halftime. Riley Ferguson came out on fire, on target, and on time. And the Memphis Tigers now have the lead.
Back here at Memphis, where they know a thing or two about hoops. So a look at John Calipari, but right now basketball on turf for Mike Norvell's football team, as Memphis has outscored the Bulls 24-7 since South Florida led 14-0 in the first quarter, in an impressive drive to start off the second half for the Tigers. There's a look at Rodney Adams back with Johnson. And the onside kick, and it's still in, and the Tigers recover it. Miller doing a little bit of everything. Now, was he in bounds with possession? Will be the call. But that caught everyone in white and green off guard.
What a kick, first of all, by Jake Elliott. It is placed perfectly to the wide side of the field, and Anthony Miller looks like he scoops and contains and possesses the football before his lower half of his body is out of bounds. It looked like he had control of the football before his legs or feet touched out of bounds.
So now, sudden change. Opportunity here for the Tigers from the 49. Dorcius makes a man miss. Can't get away from the second man. Ronnie Hoggins with the tackle. Limiting that to maybe no gain. Maybe a yard we'll give him. So a huge challenge here for the South Florida defense. Dorsey is behind Ferguson in the pistol. Both tight ends now move over to the right. Off the play fake. Looking for Miller, and it's picked. Underthrown and intercepted by Dietrich Nichols. So the Bulls get it right back.
As a quarterback, sometimes you live off the strength of your right arm. That time, not the best of decisions by quarterback Riley Ferguson, who was flushed to his left, never had a chance to really get his feet underneath him and throw the football. He flushes himself out of the pocket, but then really doesn't throw a good ball. This ball is well underthrown right into the arms of Nichols, and we talked about sudden change in those opportunities. South Florida turns it right back against Memphis.
Second interception of the season for Nichols. First turnover tonight for Memphis. Now they swing it out to Adams. What a spin move. Let's see where they mark him. Get right near the first down. I'll tell you by now, everyone here in the stadium is holding your breath when you get the ball in the hands of 87 in white.
You're looking for 87 in white, because that's a guy that's going to beat you. You give him a small window and he's going to go 60, 70, 80 yards for 6.
Now they get it out to Mack on the now route. He gets the first down. John, how do you game plan during a week for all these formations? I mean, they're throwing the kitchen sink at you.
You cross your fingers and you hope that you can identify defensively. You can coach all you want, but out on the field, this is going 120 miles an hour for this defense.
Now pressure, a man's wide open over the middle. That's Mitchell Wilcox, the tight end, all the way down to the Tiger 40.
After watching all of these athletes blur across the screen, it looked like Wilcox took 2 days to get 40 yards down the middle. Great play call and good identification by Quinton Flowers.
Still picked up 30. And now Adams down the seam makes the grab. First and 10 USF from the 12. Austin Hall with the tackle, but here are the Bulls knocking on the door again. 27-yard pickup.
Hey, man, just think 2 minutes ago it looked like Memphis was in a position of control in this football game.
At the Tiger 12. 18 first downs tonight for South Florida.
Always have to defend against quarterback run down here in the red zone.
Pumps. Keeps it himself. The 5. He will score. There was no defense for that quarterback run. Bulls regain the lead.
Anytime you have a superior athlete at quarterback that can beat you with his arm and his legs in space, he's dangerous because he can get defenders up in the air with that threat of throwing the football. Quinton Flowers, an excellent job of taking advantage of a turnover, getting it to his playmakers. He hit a tight end, he hit a wide receiver, he hit a running back, and then he found his way into the end zone with his quick feet.
Tigers went for the jugular, but the Bulls picked themselves up off the deck.
Well, they end up getting the onside kick, but the interception by Riley Ferguson, the underthrow, really hurt the momentum of the offense. It gives the football back to the Bulls and to Quinton Flowers, who does it again with his legs, finds a way, and leads to the 4-point lead.
Here's Pollard from the 3. Gets to the outside and then gets dropped. Ball comes loose. Still loose. Bulls say they have it. He was hit hard and he coughed it up. Memphis ball. Daniel Awalake still doing some lobbying.
That's a tough place to live underneath those piles, trying to scramble for the football. A tremendous hit. It looked like Pollard was sandwiched by two South Florida special teams defenders right here around the 30-35 yard line. He gets whacked and the ball is separated from Pollard. And on the bottom of that pile, somebody in blue and gray came up with it. It looked like Miller recovered the fumble from Memphis.
Same man who came up with the onside kick, but what a hit by Tajay Fullwood and Johnny Ward. But Memphis can breathe a sigh of relief momentarily because they can start this drive from their 39. And here's Henderson dragging tacklers across the 50. They mark him down at the 50.
How explosive are these running backs for both teams? They carry defenders, elude would-be tackles in the open field.
Fresh legs, because they can go three deep in that position for Memphis, could be a factor. Including right there. How did he get away from two guys behind the line of scrimmage? That looked for sure like a 5-yard loss. Instead, it's a first down.
Kevin Bronson looked like he was going to have a tackle for loss, an easy tackle for loss, and it turned into a positive gain, almost 10 yards, almost a first down. Terrific job by Henderson.
Just shy of the first down. Now he taps out. Dorcius goes in there. Ferguson to the sideline, complete for a first down to Miller at the 31.
That's what I'd like to see more of in this Memphis offense. More of that perimeter passing game, because they have the athletes in Anthony Miller especially that can create separation on the corner.
Now Dorcius weaving his way through traffic, still on his feet for the first down inside the 20, all the way down to the 15. "21 yards.
Great vision and great jump cut at the point of attack, and now Memphis seems to have all the momentum.
What defense is going to have the stamina to come up with a stop in the fourth quarter, I think, is going to decide this game. Because with the depth of playmakers that both teams have on offense, they're just wearing the defenses down. Now Dorcius at the 10, still on his feet at the 5, kept out of the end zone by Colin McGee. First and goal, Memphis.
Two strong runs by Dorcius. The first one gets Memphis into the red zone. The second one gets him inside the 5-yard line.
He stays out there to the right of Ferguson. There it is. South Florida breaks it up into the end zone. Touchdown, Memphis. Daniel Montiel. Back and forth we go at the Liberty Bowl, and I think Ferguson had to improvise on that one.
He did. He wanted to go play action. He had a high-low stretch of a fullback, if you can call one in this game. Short pylon. It looked like he had a receiver to the back pylon. Good defense by South Florida. So again, credit Riley Ferguson for finding his third outlet. Montanel coming from the left side all the way to the wide side of the field for the touchdown.
Very similar to his touchdown last week against SMU. So Memphis now back on top. John was looking for the play fake. The Bulls were ready for it, but Ferguson kept the play alive and found his tight end. Tigers up by 3. College football after a long day out. Another shocker, a huge shocker already in the dockets in the ACC as Pittsburgh pulls off by what some analytics determine to be the biggest upset in the college football playoff era. As they knock off Clemson. Now here, Adams. Across the 10. And they have done a good job containing him in the return game. Now Another quick out to Adams. Bounces off Hall. Out to the 35, make it the 37. Not only is he fast, he's tough to bring down, as Avery finally takes him to the ground.
Let's credit the skill position blocking wide receivers as well. The tight end, Dillon, had a great block there to spring Adams.
Empty backfield. Another unorthodox formation for the Bulls. Flowers now forced out of the pocket. Pumps, gets a block on the outside. Marlon Mack with a key block on the perimeter. They mark him out at the 46. They get to 47.
When Quinton Flowers is on, this offense is almost unstoppable.
Certainly, we saw that against Navy the last time out when they put up 52. Now here's Johnson, right in the middle of the defense, just shy of the 50.
The offensive line gets just enough push, Eamon, in the running game to be able to have creases for Johnson and Mack to find and kind of filter through just to complement the passing game.
Johnson to the right of Flowers on 2nd and 7. Now off the play fake. Flowers gets away from pressure, shovels it ahead to Mack somehow, and he's taken out of bounds at the 40, making that Dearness Johnson. Cook with the tackle, but
great improvisation by Quinton Flowers, just being a point guard really on that play and dishing it out to a playmaker.
bunch set all the way over to the left, the right wide open, but they throw it to Adams. Chris Barr with the catch. So Barr getting involved into the game plan as well.
Mollett finally fighting his way through the perimeter blocking on the now screen on the outside. I'm looking for a pump and go here. This might be a territory where you fake that screen and try to get it to one of your playmakers down the field.
Instead they throw the wide receiver screen to McCants, and he could go. He will score. 40 yards. McCants slow to get up, but it's a South Florida touchdown.
Huge collision at the goal line. It looked like McCants holding his lower back. Jonathan Cook, I believe, was the secondary player coming out of that Memphis defense, but it's going to result in 6 points in an unbelievable sprint by McCants. He's able to elude would-be tacklers. Good blocking again on the perimeter. Does he stay in bounds and tightrope all the way down the sideline? Yes, he does. And there's that collision before the 6 points.
I mean, by design, that play went into traffic.
That's right.
Somehow he was able to weave his way through it. Now Bear on after McCants' second touchdown of the year. And the extra point is good, and the roller coaster ride continues here in Memphis.
It's unbelievable. It's back and forth between Memphis and South Florida. South Florida getting the better of it on that last play. 40 yards from Quinton Flowers to Tyree McCants, and watch the collision at the end zone. It doesn't matter. Bulls on top by 4.
Brandon Bear and Jake Elliott doing their part tonight with plenty of opportunities in the extra point department. And Pollard's going to bring it out. Gets across the 20, gets across the 25, out to the 27. So not a bad decision. And now we go back to Memphis' turn to answer.
You're right, Eamon. You said this at halftime as we opened the third quarter. What defense is going to come up with either a scoop and score or a stop, consecutive stops to really get the separation for their football team?
There's Patrick Taylor. Breaks one tackle. Nice move. Across the 40. All the way out to the 45. Dietrich Nichols finally brings him down. But some nice shifty running by the freshman.
Boys, he got some talent. Bright future for Patrick Taylor.
18-yard pickup. Taylor in the backfield. Here comes pressure up the middle. Ferguson gets rid of it. Has a man open. Oh! They say he caught it. Oh, my. SportsCenter top 10 nominee if it's good. Anthony Miller. Oh, my.
Talk about going up and climbing the ladder. Velcro on the right hand. Catches the point, controls it, gets a foot down, and it's Memphis ball.
And they get it off, so no review. Screen to Taylor. As the kids like to say, he Odell'd it.
Yes, he did. What an awesome catch by Anthony Miller. Just goes up and catches the point. Great strength.
What an entertaining 15 minutes of American Athletic Conference football, highlighted by big plays and a spectacular catch. You'll get another look at it now. You'll get a few more looks at it at SportsCenter. Anthony Miller, one-handed inbounds, keeps the drive alive for the Tigers. Back with the final 15 minutes of regulation after this. One team put up 52 in their last game, the other put up 51, so we kind of had an idea it would go like this as scripted. They stick with the running game. Nice moves by Taylor, but upended by Jamon Thomas. So it'll be third down for the Tigers.
Good tough running in between the tackles by Patrick Taylor. A couple of skips and hops to get himself close to the 10-yard line, but another third down conversion coming up for the Memphis offense.
Tigers are 4 for 9 on third down conversions on the ball game. Empty backfield. Now motion. Ferguson avoids his sack, throws into double coverage and knocked away.
Ferguson very lucky that ball wasn't intercepted and going the other direction. Good break on the football by Nate Godwin.
Godwin and Khalid McGee with the coverage, and they're going to settle for a field goal attempt.
Ferguson was trying to get his tight end in the flat, never could get a clean look, but then blindly just throws the football in the middle of two white jerseys, and Godwin almost gets the interception.
So Elliott on for a 29-yard field goal attempt to make it a one-point ball game. This certainly feels like a win for the South Florida defense, the way this second half's been going. But they get the 3 points to make it a one-point game. South Florida 35, Memphis 34. Back to the Liberty Bowl after this. Here's a good look at the Big River crossing, the new walkway across Harahan Bridge, the bridge that crosses over the Mississippi and connects Tennessee to Arkansas. John, good thing our cell phones comes with calculators, because we've got a lot of tallying to do in this one.
Yeah, I was totally confused. I thought that was the yearly summary. 123 plays, 9 touchdowns, 4 lead changes, and over 1,000 total yards. It's been a lot of offense through 3+ quarters.
Flowers gets to the outside, the 50, the 40, pushed out of bounds. Curtis Akins keeps him out of the end zone and breaking off another long run, but the Bulls are on the move.
South Florida offensively has been able to get the edge to gain leverage on the perimeter more than 50% of the time this evening. Quinton Flowers having himself a heck of a football game, both throwing the football and rushing.
35-yard pickup. They get it to Mack down to the 25. Second and 2. Here's Mack right up the middle. Taken down at the 15 by Cook. Another first down for the Bulls. 13-yard pickup for Mack.
This tempo is moving now.
Right back to Mack. Lowers the shoulder. Gets brought down at the 9.
Formations, motion. Quinton Flowers orchestrating this offense. They're getting explosive plays with ease tonight against this Tiger defense.
Does it ever cross your mind, like a basketball game, to take that timeout to give your defense a blow and stop everything?
Yeah, you have to be in the right part of the field to do it. You have to be able to get your group together and figure out positioning and eye discipline. It just looks like at some points they're all over the place defensively, the Tigers are.
Flowers keeps it himself, gets inside the 5. Brought down by Avery, who's had a quiet night, trying to run down Quinton Flowers and his colleagues. 3rd and 2 from the 5, so they don't have to. They can get a first down without scoring.
I think if you're Willie Taggart right now, what do you trust? Who do you trust? That's where the ball goes. And right now you've got 2 of your most reliable players in the backfield, Quinton Flowers and Marlon Mack.
And it's Mack up the middle, and it's a touchdown for South Florida. His 12th of the season. But 7th time this year the Bulls have scored 40 points or more. And Brandon Bear filling in for Emilio Nadelman out there on the extra point attempt. And it's good, and it's an 8-point South Florida lead.
Quinton Flowers set up this offense all evening. He did it again on this drive. It led to a 4-yard Marlon Mack rushing touchdown. The fly sweep motion had all the eyes on the outside. Mack goes inside for the score.
Pollard and Henderson back to receive for the Tigers. This is Pollard. Gets away from one man. Still on his feet across the 30. All the way out to the 42. So good field position for the Tigers. Ferguson with time, steps up, looking for it all. Miller's got a step. They got Miller. Touchdown! 57 yards. With 6:46 left to go, they're going to go for the 2 points and the tie.
It's the one play that's been missing out of this offense. That long shot, that explosive passing play down the field. There's been plenty of drops on it tonight. That time, 57-yard connection from Riley Ferguson to Anthony Miller.
Under center, Henderson in the backfield. Roll in the pocket to the right. Man wide open. We are tied. Phil Mayhew. Wow, what a ball game in Memphis.
This is fun. This is exciting to watch. If you like offensive football and you like a lot of explosive plays and scoring, you have come to the right place. With 6:46 left to go in this game, not only the 2-point conversion, but the 57-yard strike. Riley Ferguson finally finds Anthony Miller behind coverage. Miller's able to corral the catch and tie the football game up at 42. Ferguson rolls to his right, finds his receiver Phil Mayhew, and with 6:46 left, we're tied at 42.
Good crowd on hand at the Liberty Bowl, and they've enjoyed this one. Anthony Miller with that touchdown has now 1,077 yards on the season, receiving yards. That sets a new school record, passing Isaac Bruce, who had 1,054 yards. He went on to be all right in the pros.
He did pretty well.
So
Anthony Miller, 10 catches for 153 tonight.
Keep in mind a former walk-on here. Adams knocked out of bounds at the 20.
You would think that first and 16, first and 20, first and 15 has put a hamper or dampen your chances. This is not anything that South Florida can't overcome.
Flowers keeps it himself. What an adjustment to make something out of that play. He looked bottled up inside, and he retreated to get to the outside and picks up 6.
Quinton Flowers has gotten stronger as this game has gone on. Not that he didn't start off fast and hot with his legs and his right arm, but he's been able to make plays, taking negative plays and turning them into positive yardage.
2nd and 11.
Might be time for Rodney Adams on a little skinny post down the middle here.
He's in the slot to the right. Valdez Scantling outside of him. Flowers looking to throw. Now he's going to run, and he's got an alley. That quickly closes. Good job by the Tigers. Jannard Avery.
We thought Avery might play a bigger role tonight spying on Quinton Flowers, but that's a tough assignment for anybody.
Under 5 minutes to go. 3rd and 5 for Flowers and the Bulls. Bunch set, 4 receivers to the right. No one to the left.
You must set the edge if you're Memphis against Quinton Flowers.
Tigers bringing pressure up the middle. Flowers trying to get to the outside, and he will. He gets the first down. What a play by Flowers. Injured Tiger at midfield, but he got some help on the outside.
He turned something into a first down. There was nothing between the tackles, and Flowers was able to get to the perimeter, pick up his blocks by the wide receivers, and retain possession.
They get it to Adams, and he is hit hard at the 40. So Chris Morley coming up. Jonathan Wilson getting to the outside to contain that play.
You can see how this offense would fatigue a defense, having to run and get all the screen plays outside the numbers and then try to stop the run going north and south.
Especially when your offense takes all of one play to score.
That's right.
2nd and 6. Memphis showing pressure, and they get to Flowers. One of the rare times they get a clean hit, bring him down, and the ball comes loose. They say he was down, though. Whistle was blown. That's the 2nd time South Florida's been bailed out by a whistle. But certainly it did look like his forward progress had stopped.
Different wrinkle shown by defensive coordinator Chris Ball. They bring the corner blitz from the short side. Arthur Mollett was in the backfield on Quinton Flowers. Good stop on 2nd down.
Tiger fans starting to pick up the volume. Adams in motion. Flowers looking to throw. Here comes pressure. He gets away. Gets hit. Throws it out to Adams.
What a play.
What a play. First down. You were waiting for that, and then it looked like Memphis finally had him, and he had enough strength to get it to Adams. What a play by Quinton Flowers.
Disaster turns into a completion and keeps the South Florida Bulls offense on the field.
13-yard pickup.
Great individual effort by Quinton Flowers. It looks like he's going to go down and take a loss, but he's able to keep his balance and composure and throw the football on the mark to Rodney Adams for the first down.
And Austin Hall had him around the waist. Now Dearness Johnson gets pushed out of bounds by Mollett.
How good are these stable of backs?
Now again, if you're Memphis right here, you're doing all you can to force a field goal. If you're South Florida, the last thing you want to do is try a field goal and put it all on the backup kicker, Brandon Bear. Season high for South Florida that already came in with a pretty impressive offensive resume.
I think if you're South Florida, you have to have the mindset, you're going to try to put this one away. You want a touchdown on this drive.
They ran into each other. Flowers still has it. Oh, what a move! And he's gonna score! It started by running into his own player. It ends with a 22-yard touchdown run. How did that happen?
Eamon, that was not by design, but I think the confusion in the offensive backfield froze the defense of Memphis. It looked like the play was at a stalemate, but when you have a superior athlete like Quinton Flowers, he's able to make a negative play or take a negative play and turn it into potentially a game-winning play.
Bear on for the extra point, and it's good. And that play is the exclamation point to a career night for Quinton Flowers. 210 rushing yards, and the final 22 might have sealed the deal for his team.
What looked like disaster for the Bulls offensively on that play. A collision, he's lucky he hung on to the football. That could have been a fumble in the offensive backfield, but Flowers is able to really freeze the defense with a mistake. They run into each other in the backfield, Marlon Mack and Flowers, and then the speed, the stutter, and the vision of Quinton Flowers allows him to get into the end zone for the lead.
The other quarterback with 200 rushing yards in a game this season was Will Worth, who did it against Memphis as well. Now Memphis can take it to the house in the return game, but Pollard's brought down at the 35. So certainly time is not an issue here for Ferguson and the offense with 2 timeouts and the playmakers they have. So this one is far from over.
But you got plenty of time on the clock.
Miller, bottom of your screen right. That's where he's looking. Instead, he checks it down to the tight end, Montiel, who gets out of bounds.
That's the type of play that starts a drive. It gets you momentum. It gets this offense going.
Gain is 7. Now over the middle. This time they hold on to it in traffic. Augie Sanchez trying to rip it away from Montiel. But he's down at the 41.
What a great,
at the 36,
great concentration catch over the middle by Montiel.
He's become a major factor in the passing game here in the second half. Where's Anthony Miller? Top of your screen to the left. Dorsey is in the backfield. They run it.
Ooh,
oh, that's going to be a penalty.
Face
mask on Deidre Sanat.
Personal foul, face mask, number 10 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That was a violent play by Deidre Sanat. He's just going to stick out this paw, this right arm and hand, and get all face mask and rip the helmet completely off Dorland Dorsius.
So that moves it down to the 19. Dorsius comes out, Henderson comes in. Quick release, catch made, out of bounds. Montiel again. So now they get closer and closer, but the field shrinks on you.
I think the entire field is open for Memphis. They can still afford to run the football. 1 minute and 9 seconds left. They have 2 timeouts remaining, so the entire offense is open for coordinator Chip Long.
Twins to the wide side, Miller to the short side, bottom of your screen. Again, back to the tight end. Montiel makes the grab right at the marker for a first down, and it's 1st and goal Memphis with 1:55 to play.
Memphis doing a nice job of wearing out the short side of the field in the passing game. Only 1 down the seam to a big tight end on this drive.
Henderson in the backfield. They give it to him. Still on his feet inside the 5. Now does Mike Norvell take a timeout? Injured player will stop the clock. Now Montiel coming off has been a factor. He already has a touchdown catch tonight. So 2nd and goal from the 3. Trips to the left. Mayhew to the short side. Henderson in the backfield. Looking for Mayhew. No flag. Nichols on the coverage. 3rd and goal.
Really good coverage by Dedrick Nichols. Playing the football and not the player. Getting around the body and getting a hand on the football.
Where do you put Anthony Miller? He's going to the slot, to the trip side, wide side of the field. Henderson to the left. Back to Mayhew. Can't bring it in. Good coverage again by Nichols. Curious that you picked that matchup when you have Anthony Miller.
That's right. And Mayhew came into the game not 100%.
So it all comes down to this. Montiel back on the field. He already has one touchdown catch tonight. Miller's going to the left. No huddle. Do you take your time out to talk it over? This is the ball game.
I think this is where you go to the slot to the field. You've got man coverage to the field.
Looking for Miller. Knocked away. The Bulls are going to hold on. 3 straight great plays by Dietrich Nichols in the end zone.
Finally, good defense shows up late in the football game and denies Memphis 3 tries, 3 passing attempts, 2 to the short side to Mayhew, and then trying to go to the playmaker. Boy, I tell you, that looked like pass interference. It looked like Dietrich Nichols had an arm bar on the inside hand and arm on the right arm. He couldn't even go up for the football. The officials missed that one on the replay. That is clearly pass interference.
He's got that arm locked. So Memphis can stop the clock once. If you're a Tiger, you're hoping for a botched snap. Flowers takes a knee. What a doozy here in Memphis as the Tigers come up just short of forcing overtime, but
Memphis takes their final time out of the half.
the offense was there for both teams.
0-3-8. Thank you.
It was back and forth, and Memphis had their opportunities. Short.
It was entertaining, and the Bulls will take it all the way back to Tampa. A hard-fought victory for South Florida as they'll improve to 8-2. They stay on the road and get ready for SMU. The Tigers will go to Cincinnati, but Willie Taggart can smile as his leaders on offense came through for them.
Outstanding offensive performance by Quinton Flowers. Rodney Adams had explosive plays, in the running attack of Johnson and Mack were too much tonight for South Florida.
So Willie Taggart can smile as his team outlasts Memphis. They win it 49-42. For John Congemi and our entire crew, I'm Eamon McEnany saying so long. Let's now take you out to Colorado Springs. Colorado State taking on Air Force.